Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and you're watching This Week in MTG Finance. As always, and before we get started, I want to thank MTG Stocks for allowing us to use graphical information for the purposes of this video. This has been an interesting week in MTG Finance, that is to be sure. There's a lot of cards moving this week for a lot of different reasons. We got cards moving because of brand new commanders, we have cards moving because of new commander rulings regarding death triggers, and the number one card this week is up 1750%, and it's a goblin. If you guys know me at all, you know I love me some goblins. So let's dive right in, and we'll start right here with the top 10 winners percentage wise this week, starting with Lifeblood Hydra. Lifeblood Hydra's been on our list a few times over the course of the last couple of weeks, and that's due to Zaxara the Exemplary, one of the new commanders from Commander 2020. So Zaxara is a Hydra commander, and of course he loves X-Cost spells, so all of the sort of X-Cost Hydras have been really climbing over the last few weeks. But Lifeblood Hydra is a bit of an exception, and that's due to low supply on this card. It only had a printing in Commander 2014, and then another printing in Commander Anthology. So in comparison to other sort of Hydra spells, this one here is relatively hard to get your hands on, and it will continue to climb as long as Zaxara remains a popular new commander. All right, so our number 9 winner this week, Kokusho the Evening Star, is one of those that is rising because of the new Commander Death Trigger rules. So this particular version, the Champions of Kamigawa version, currently priced at $28, is up 87% this week. Now, all of the versions are on the rise. Wow, the From the Vault version, $75, amazing. But you can still pick up the Iconic Masters version for under $23, so if you need to get your hands on a Kokusho, now would be the time to do it, and the Iconic Masters version is your best bet. All right, so let's review the new commander rule. So the new commander rule states that if a commander is in a graveyard, library, or exile, and that card was put there since the last time state-based actions were checked, its owner may put it into the command zone. So now we get death triggers on all of our commanders, right? I mean, before it was a replacement effect. If your commander died or was killed or whatever, exiled, you could choose to put it into command zone. It never actually hit the bin or exile or whatever. It just went straight to the command zone. Now they actually go to where they're supposed to go, and then as soon as state-based actions are checked, they're moved to the command zone. So we do get our death triggers. So cards like Kokusho the Evening Star, when Kokusho the Evening Star is put into the graveyard from play, each opponent loses 5 life and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. Makes these much more powerful commanders, to be sure. All right, taking up the number 8 slot this week, we have Exploration from Urza's Saga, currently valued at $100. And this thing has more than doubled in price over the course of the last week or so. It's up 101%. Now, you can still pick up the Conspiracy version for under $50. So if you need to add one of these to your commander collection, now's the time to move on a Conspiracy copy. Exploration is a staple in green commander decks. So for just 1 green, we get an enchantment that states you may play an additional land on each of your turn. Slots into almost any green deck. Now, there's been a new card spoiled from Core Set 2021, and that'd be Radha, Heart of Keld. This thing is a potential commander in Gruul colors that allows you to look at the top card of your library, and if it's a land, you may play that land from the top of your library. So Exploration definitely slots into a deck like that. There is a lot of Goblin cards on the rise this week due to a Core Set 2021 spoiler, and that would be Conspicuous Snoop. Auntie's Hovel is no exception, currently valued at $24. It's up 107% this week. Man, this thing was under $12 just a week ago. It's the only printing of this card, the Lorwyn printing, and Auntie's Hovel is one of these sort of lands that comes into play tapped unless you reveal a Goblin card from your hand. Definitely a staple in any modern Goblin deck. Since so many of our cards on our list this week are being affected by this brand new Core Set 2021 spoiler, Conspicuous Snoop, it seems only prudent to review exactly what this card does. Conspicuous Snoop is a 2-mana cost Goblin Rogue. He's a 2/2. Now we play with the top card of our library revealed, and you may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. Pretty good deal so far, but here comes the kicker. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. So of course, guess who is a goblin? That's right, it's Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker. Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker has haste, and it's tap, put a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control onto the battlefield. That token has haste, and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Going back to conspicuous snoop, it's not a legendary creature, so as soon as you get Kiki-Jiki onto the top of your library, you can just go ahead and tap your conspicuous snoop, make a copy of conspicuous snoop, and rinse and repeat. You have infinite copies of conspicuous snoop. Now all we need to do is get something like Monk Fanatic onto the top of our library, and we can go ahead and just machine gun all of our opponents to death. So this leads us to our number 6 winner this week, and that would be Goblin Recruiter. Goblin Recruiters had a few printings, namely Visions, Anthologies, and Classic 6th edition. Now they're all valued around the same price, and that's about $5. And Goblin Recruiter's up 114% this week. So this thing is a 2 mana cost 1/1, and when it comes into play, we search our library for any number of goblin cards, reveal those cards to all players, shuffle our library, and put those cards back on top in any order. Pretty awesome for setting up a combo with something like Conspicuous Snoop. Now this isn't viable in Modern, it's never been legal in Modern, but would be great as an addition, a secondary sort of alt win con in something like Krenko in Commander. Now our number 5 winner this week, Ruleescape Apex Hybrid, is currently valued at $4, and this thing's up 136% this week. Fairly recent printing, in fact the only printing other than pre-release cards from War of the Spark. Now Ruleescape is moving again because of the new Commander Death Trigger rules. So he has, whenever Ruleescape dies, proliferate, then proliferate again. Not sure this is ever really going to be a super popular commander. Simic Colors is kind of awkward for humans, although there's lots of cool human wizards and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some really cool decks out there, but that said, it's definitely good colors for proliferate. Moving along to our number 4 winner this week, we have Hungry Lynx from Commander 2017. Currently valued at around $8.25, and this thing is up 155% this week. Now, this was on our list last week, and this is on the rise solely due to the fact of the new Rin and Seri Commander revealed from Core Set 2021. Now, I've been working on a deck tech video for this Rin and Seri, so if that's something that interests you, keep your eyes open for that later this week. Hungry Lynx is just 2 mana for a 2/2. It's a cat. Cats you control have protection from rats. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent creates a 1/1 black rat creature token with Death Touch, and whenever a rat dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on each cat you control. Definitely going to slot well into the Rin and Seri Commander deck for sure. So this brings us to our number 3 winner this week, and that would be Abeyance from Weatherlight, currently valued at $15, and this thing's up 203% this week. Abeyance is an instant. It's 1 white and 1, and until end of turn, target player may not play instants, interrupts, sorceries, or abilities requiring an activation cost, and then of course you draw a card. It's on the reserve list, and it's the only true printing of this card. Now I couldn't find anything specific as to why Abeyance might be moving this week, other than the fact that it could be a great include in Rune of the Hidden Realms, which is getting a lot of attention this week, especially after that Command Zone video explaining how Rune interacts with stifling triggers and the new Commander Death Trigger rule. So if that's something you need more information on, go ahead and search out that video. It's actually really informative. Anyway, like I said, I couldn't find anything other than the fact that that would be a great include in a Rune deck. So if you know, why don't you let me know in the comment section below. Our number 2 winner this week, Reparations from Mirage, is up an absolutely astounding 1,011% to $23. Man, just a week ago, this card was $2. Now, this card's actually really good in Commander. To be honest with you, I think it's a little bit underrated, or at least it was up until this point. Reparations is an enchantment. It's 1 blue, 1 white, and 1. And whenever target opponent, which has been errated to say whenever an opponent successfully casts a spell that targets you or a creature you control, you may draw a card. I love the flavor text on this. Sorry I burned down your village. Here's some gold. So anyway, this is another card that would slot amazingly well into Rune of the Hidden Realms, and it's on the reserve list, which makes finding copies of this card extremely difficult. So this brings us to our number 1 winner this week, and that's Bogart Harbinger from Lorwyn. It's the only printing of this card. It's valued at $7.25, and this thing is up an absolutely astronomical 1,748% Absolutely mind-blowing for an uncommon to move this much this week. This card is definitely the game winner for Conspicuous Snoop. So how the whole interaction is going to work here is we're going to put Conspicuous Snoop into play, probably on turn 2, and then hopefully on turn 3, play Bogart Harbinger, go ahead, fetch up Kiki Jiki to the top of our deck, copy it a bazillion times with Conspicuous Snoop, and then on the last time, copy Bogart Harbinger, go ahead and get Mog Fanatic, put that to the top of our deck, and just machine gun everybody into oblivion. I'm really looking forward to doing something like this in Modern for sure. I love myself some goblins. I've got a really awesome Rakdos goblin deck put together already, so it'll just be a matter of slotting all these combo pieces into the deck and making it a really fun Modern combo deck. It's amazing to see a card move so much in value in just a week. All right, before I get into cards I'm investing in this week, as always, if you're a subscriber, you know I want to thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. And if not, now's a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post at least 2 videos every week. And if you'd like to help support this channel, I've included an Amazon link in the description of this video. And whether you're using that link to buy a brand new garden hose or an awesome deck box that you just can't find at your local game store, using that link really helps me out. So Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, you may remember when we were going through the top 10 list, is a combo piece that is going to be used with Conspicuous Snoop, one of the core set 2021 spoilers. Kiki Jiki is just one of those perennial combo pieces that just keeps cropping up, mostly in Modern, but it does get play in Commander as well. The Mystery Booster version is under 10 bucks, which is a phenomenal deal considering the original Champion of Kamigawa version is more than double that price at 20 bucks. Even the Modern Masters and Modern Masters 2015 versions are around the $12 mark, so picking up the Mystery Booster one for under 10 bucks is a steal. The next one I have for you guys today is a Manascape Refractor from Commander 2020. I really like this card at $5.50. I think it's a steal. In fact, I'm trying to pick up as many copies as I can. Now, the supply on this is really limited because we've only ever seen it so far in Commander 2020. So Manascape Refractor is an artifact, so 3 CMC, and it enters the battlefield tapped. Now, Manascape Refractor has all activated abilities of all lands on the battlefield, and you can spend mana as though it were any color to pay the activation costs of Manascape Refractor's ability. Slots really well into any decks that require specific lands, especially decks that are utilizing cards like Cabal Coffers. All right, last but not least, we have our speculation play for the week. That's right, it's Goblin Chieftain, specifically the dual deck Merfolk versus Goblin version. You can pick up this card for around $2.65, but all of the core set versions can be had for around the $3 mark. We haven't seen all the spoilers from core set 2021 yet. There's a bit of a Goblin theme going on there. I suppose that happens with every core set. They need to put Goblin Chieftain into Pioneer. I mean, goblins and elves, so for that matter, the Elvish Archdruid as well, but goblins and elves need to be viable in every format. And they're not viable if they don't have a low-cost lord, and they don't have that in Pioneer currently. So this is their opportunity. I really hope that they took advantage of it this time around with Core Set 2021. That remains to be seen with the rest of the spoilers that we're going to get this week. But regardless, this is still a safe play. As you can see, this card never really falls below the sort of $2.50 mark. You know, been hovering between $2.50 and $3 for years now. Worst case scenario, you have a solid investment in picking up Goblin Chieftain at $2.65. But in the event that this does end up in this core set, that's going to open a lot of new doors for goblins in Pioneer, and this card should more than double in value if that is the case. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this week in MTG Finance. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.